Justice League Power Rangers issue 4. Tom Taylor writing, Stephen Byrne on the art. I did have to check on Comixology what the first page of issue 5 was, just so I wouldn't.
What's interesting is this is the first issue that feels like it has a last page.
It does. However, I will counter that with saying this one doesn't feel like it has a first page. The first page of this just feels like it's the next page of an issue.
This goes back to what I was saying last time, where I'm like, the more I read it, the more convinced I am this was written as a straight to graphic novel, and then they split it up.
Very possible. Very, very possible. So the big thing here is they have to raise the collider out of the ground. So we have like John using his ring to do that. Well, he keeps it together while Superman and Wonder Woman actually do the lifting. Literally the heavy lifting, if you will. So that's a big visual. They use the dragon dagger to tether themselves to the other realm they're trying to get to. And they fly a ship through to go back to, and they're just there in time to see Angel Grove disappear. Zack gets to see his parents through the bubble just before it shrinks. So you have a big dramatic moment, which really makes him feel. Honestly, one of my favorite beats in this whole issue, before we get to the fun stuff that comes after, is when I think is it Cyborg who calls them powerless, so the kids shouldn't help. The Power Rangers shouldn't help because they're powerless, and Batman just sort of says they're not powerless. Like I love Batman jumping in and saying that. It's just because Batman obviously doesn't have any superpowers, so he's very opinionated on this.
That might as well call him powerless.
Yes. But I also like the idea that he's kind of sticking up because of what he's seen them do already. He's like, they're not powerless. Don't even start that bullshit.
Like they've just had them on. They're working through all that intense CERN bullshit. Like that alone proves that they're not powerless. Even if they were doing that mostly without suits or anything like that.
Yep, absolutely. And then, we get to kind of the fun stuff where, again, Taylor's thought of some way to mix the, what else can we have the Power Rangers do with the DC Universe stuff that could be fun? And it's like, well, they don't have their powers right now. They don't have their power coins. So Batman has grabbed a bunch of random stuff from the museum display of the Watchtower. Some of it from heroes, some of it from villains. And we get the Power Rangers, to put it in perspective, so Kimberly's known for having a bow and arrow, right? That's her weapon. She's got the pink bow and arrow. So she ends up with one of Green Arrow's bows with a boxing glove arrow, and that's just.
Flash is like, yeah, I know it's weird, and she's like, no, I get it. It's when you want to punch someone who's a long way away.
Yeah,
makes perfect sense.
Jason gets a sword, the Sword of Azrael. He also gets a Red Hood mask.
Yeah, they're all wearing various.
Yeah, Tommy's got a Lex Luthor power armor on. Kimberly's got a hot girl outfit on.
Trinity's got a katana.
Yeah. It's just some. It's just enough where it makes sense. You're like, okay, this is kind of cute. So they obviously form a big attack. Some of them attack Brainiac's ship. Some of them are on the ground fighting back the forces. Superman's causing a big distraction. Most of the issue from this point on takes place on Brainiac's ship, which is Cyborg, Batman, and some of the Power Rangers try to storm the castle, as it were. And they don't find the Shrunken City, they don't find Angel Grove, but Cyborg does locate the power coins. So there's a section here where it's about getting to the power coins, and he does get to them, he throws them to the Rangers, so they're going to morph again. But Cyborg has been taken over by Brainiac at this moment, and he blasts Zack. And it's kind of your big kind of moment. Billy, turns into his Power Ranger self, turns out the Blue Ranger, and we have this big cliffhanger where he stabs Cyborg with his spear. Is that what we call that? This double-ended spear?
I don't know, because it's double-ended, isn't it? And it's not really a spear at that point. It's more of just a staff with pointy ends. I don't know.
Whatever the correct term is, he stabs Cyborg with it. And it's a big full-page spread. That's your big cliffhanger. So it is. Does this feel, final?
Yep.
So that's nice. Yeah. Honestly, if I have a complaint, and it's not really a complaint, it's just that the issues are so consistently good and basically are working in the exact same way every time that I almost have very little to add or say about this issue in particular, other than just sort of tell you what happened in it, which is what I just did. So
yeah, I think art is great again.
Yes.
I think they're having fun mixing the universes a little bit more as we've gone on. I think the biggest problem is, it just starts. It just drops in. It doesn't feel like a natural opening. Alternatively, we have a proper ending this time, so it kind of evens out in some ways.
I wonder if because I've never finished this, so I don't know what the next issues are going to bring. I wonder if we're going to end up with some of the because we've had a lot of Power Rangers using Justice League stuff. I wonder if we're going to get the Justice League like operating the Zords or something. By the end of this,
That'll be fun.
It feels like something that makes sense, or maybe like one of them grows giant to fight a Zord or fight a monster. So I don't know, like do something with the Justice League to make them more Power Ranger. So, at the very least, I want them to meet Zordon. I feel like Superman and Zordon would have a nice chat.
It definitely feels like the Power Rangers are the star here, and they're the ones borrowing from the DC stuff. Like they're the ones that are the even now when we're in their universe, it's still. But here's the DC stuff that the Power Rangers get to play with. And so I agree that I hope it does a little bit of the reversal now that we're in their universe.
It's almost a shame they can't have it end with that Justice League Megazord from the start of Metal. Like somehow like bring that into it where they both have their own Megazords.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing where I wonder if maybe they don't do a lot of that in this because that was on the line for a potential sequel, like when they were planning it. Not that they even, was ever even like officially talked about. Not that it was shut down, but more just they kept it in the back pocket in case they were asked to do more, and they were like, right, okay, well, I can, flip it that way.
Yeah. Especially if we're staying in Angel Grove's universe for the rest of the story for the most part, because that's where the danger is. That's where they're trying to stop everything.
I would assume so, yeah.
Because the only thing I could think of is that Batman has some sort of big mech suit that he's going to maybe. Not that it's as big as a Zord, but not the Megazord certainly. Maybe as big as like the Triceratops Zord or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
But hey, whatever. But a fun issue. What are you giving it?
I'll give it 8.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. It's good. It's fun. So there you go.